In my previous video, I had discussed about the definition, purpose and objectives of recruitment, factors governing recruitment, advantages of centralized and decentralized recruitment. In today's session, we would be discussing about the recruitment process. Recruitment process is an activity of identifying the job vacancy, analyzing the job requirement, reviewing applications of the candidates, screening and shortlisting the right candidates for the selection process. Recruitment also refers to the process of identifying and attracting job seekers so as to build a pool of qualified job applicants. An ideal recruitment program is one that attracts a relatively larger number of qualified applicants who will survive the screening process and take up job positions when the organization offers that to them. In order to make the recruitment process effective, individuals responsible for the process must know how many and what type of employees are required, where and how to look for the candidates, what should be their appropriate qualification, experience and competencies, and what should be the method that is used to distinguish the qualified and unqualified applicants so that the success rate of the recruitment process can be enhanced. You can now see the diagrammatic representation of the recruitment process. The recruitment process consists of 5 steps. The first step is the planning process, or what we call as recruitment planning. The second step is the strategy development. The third step is search for prospective candidates, and it also includes activating the search. The fourth step is the screening, and the fifth step is evaluation and control. We will now look into the step-by-step explanation. For the recruitment process to be effective, the recruiter needs to map the company strategies with job analysis and human resource planning. Job analysis is a process of determining the nature of the job, the duties and responsibilities associated to different job titles prevailing in an organization. That is, job analysis will include job description and job specification. Human resource planning helps in identifying the current human resources and the future demand for and supply of human resources for an organization to achieve its goals. Once these 3 are mapped, it facilitates the first step of the recruitment process, that is recruitment planning. Recruitment planning is a process of identifying and translating job vacancies at a future date in terms of type and number. That is, what would be the job positions that could fall vacant at a future date, and how many of these positions will fall vacant. That is what it's meant by type and number. Now, when a company has identified and translated the job vacancies, there are some points to be taken into consideration. One is whether the firm is going to hire less skilled employees and invest on their training and development programs, or whether they are going to hire skilled labor and professionals. Now, organizations need to identify that more time and effort would be spent when they hire less skilled employees and invest on their training, whereas when they hire skilled labor and professionals, they may have to pay more for these employees. Another point to remember is the technology that is available in terms of searching the appropriate candidates. They could be a national scan or an international applicant database that is available, wherein the company can source out the candidates. In today's scenario, many job seekers have begun sending videotapes about themselves to companies without wasting time and without spending money on travel. So with the presence of ICT and ITES technology, lot of technological advancement have also influenced the second stage, that is strategy development. Strategy development talks about where to look and how to look for the prospective candidates. For example, when an organization is searching for freshers, they would generally search for the candidates at E schools and B schools. And when the company is searching for experienced people, they will look for them in the local market or national market when they are recruiting experienced managerial or professional employees or technical employees or clerical or blue collared employees. The second aspect is how to look. This refers to the methods of sourcing the candidates. There are several sources and they can be broadly classified as internal and external sources. Internal recruitment refers to applications and positions for those who are already employed in the organization, in that present organization. Internal sources includes present employees, employee referrals, former employees, callback of retrenched and retired employees. External sources include walk-ins, employment exchange, contractors, college, university or institute placements, employment exchanges, advertisements, associations, data banks, radio and television, etc. Once the recruiting plan and strategy are worked out, the search operation moves to the next level, which we call as activation of the search or source. This includes message and media. This refers to effective presentation of the contents of a job in an advertisement or any other media so that candidates are stimulated to apply for the job. While message refers to the content, advertisement or the media could either involve a low credible media or a high credible media. Now, a low credible media is something like employment exchange, and a high credible media is something like advertisement where the visibility is more. So, selection of media needs to be done with a lot of care. Now, the second step and the third step helps in creating an applicant pool, or what we call a database of prospective recruitees who could be furthered in the hiring process. Now, this applicant pool comprises of candidates who have sent their resumes online or a hard copy or a video clipping. It can include candidates who could be the right fit for the job or who could be overqualified or underqualified. So, the next step, screening, of the applications is the most integral part of the recruitment process. This provides a scope wherein the recruiter is able to scrutinize and filter out the underqualified and overqualified candidates. So, the first filtration process of the hiring happens in recruitment screening. Screening is a situation where the job applicant's resume is matched with the job profile, job description that is already present in the organization to see how they fit into the relevant job position. The purpose of screening is also to remove from the recruitment process at a very early stage those applicants who are visibly unqualified or unfit for the job. An effective screening can save a great deal of time and money. Once the screening has been completed and the underqualified and overqualified candidates have been removed, the company is able to generate the potential hires, or what we call the suitable candidates who could further undergo the various steps in the selection process. For example, if the company had created an applicant pool of 100 candidates, of which 7% were underqualified and 9% were overqualified, the potential hires would constitute 84 applicants who would go to the next level of the hiring process, what we call as the selection process. The potential hires also would be referred to as the prospective candidates for the further rounds of the filtration of the hiring process. Now, once screening has been completed, the last step is the evaluation and control, which is necessary as considerable costs are incurred in the recruitment process. Some of the costs that is normally incurred is salary of recruiters, cost of time spent on preparing job analysis and advertisement, administrative expenses, cost of outsourcing or overtime wherein the vacancies remain unfilled, cost incurred in recruiting unsuitable candidates. Along with this, certain other questions that need to be answered is whether the appropriate recruitment methods have been used, whether the recruitment process followed by the organization has been effective or not. In case the answer for these questions are yes, then it can be taken that an effective recruitment model has been designed by the company. If in case the answers to the above questions were negative, then appropriate control measures need to be evolved in order to overcome the drawbacks. So, evaluation and control helps in putting checkpoints at all the previous steps of the recruitment process, be it screening or appropriate activation of the search, or in identification of the prospective candidates, or whether they have been effective in identifying the job vacancies. With this, we have looked into the various steps in the recruitment process. There are 5 steps in the recruitment process. The 5 steps are recruitment planning, strategy development, searching and activating the search, screening, and evaluation and control. The potential hires are the outcome of the recruitment process, and the potential hires are the candidates who go in for the selection process. On screen you can now see another diagrammatic representation of the same recruitment process, which I have collected from one of the textbook and I have presented to you. Before we close this session, there are some questions I would like you to answer and submit it to me. In the next session, we will talk about the different sources of recruitment in detail, the internal, external, traditional as well as the modern sources. These are the questions I would like you people to answer and submit it to me.